Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Dr. Nadra and our fellow classmates. My name is Nordiana Izzati binti Muhammad Zain, and together with my group mates Nurul Aziati and Ainul Shohada, we'll be presenting about the new public services NPS. So what is NPS? According to Janet Denhart and Robert Denhart, the government should not be run like a business, but it should be run like a democracy. This means that NPS needs to apply the concept of values in a dynamic society and require good treatment from the government. The purpose is to find the solutions to every problem that occurs in the governments and also the society. For example, every action taken by the government should prioritize the community so that the problem can be solved, such as the situations during the COVID-19 pandemic, where a few people were affected in terms of income, and the government decided to give flexibility to withdraw EPF money to overcome the problem. The services provided to withdraw the money only need to be done online without going to the EPF office to facilitate the community. There are several characteristics of NPS. The first one is the theory of democracy. Denhart explains the idea of democracy based on the form of a government that follows society choice or through representations. This theory also explains the community's equal rights because the people are considered as essential voice or important voice in the government. Next, the public interest is the result of the various assessments. This means that the government tries to evaluate in terms of issues that arise in a society. Among them is the government trying to negotiate and assess the various interests in a society without following only one party only. This is because the community is a dynamic, so the service from the public service must also be appropriate according to the development of society. Next, in NPS, it looks at the public as a citizen who has certain rights and obligations. Therefore, citizens are not only seen as customers who contribute to the government, but they need to be treated equally because citizens also follow the same obligations. For example, such as paying taxes, following the same national tenets, and so on. Therefore, in this case, the government does not need to treat the community as a customers only, but they try to meet the community's interest to gain the trust. Moving on to the serving. In NPS, it is more about sharing leadership that is not only centered on top management but also involve various parties. Therefore, the position of an administration is not seen as an owner but as a servant to the people. Next, accountability has professional standards. Public management is not seen as self-management because any decision-making failure will affect the community. Therefore, public management must be complex and dynamic, such as responsible and meet the criteria of professional standards or a win-win situations. Finally, in NPS, the perceptions from the officer or admin is to serve the community sincerely and not based on personal interest. For example, a public servant expects some rewards, ranks, and so on when performing duties. Next, there are several features of the relationship between public service and public interest. Among them is to gain the trust and confidence of the community. In NPS, the duties of a public servant cannot be carried out according to the interests of the customers who may have high influence, such as the upper class and so on. Public servants should focus on building opportunities to gain trust in relationships with the community. Second, one-way communication is often seen as less effective and doesn't achieve the purpose of the communications. This is because one-way communications is seen as an action that will only benefit one side. If community involvement is made in unprofessional situations based on community distrust and through one-way communication with limited access, it will not be effective. Otherwise, it will affect their citizenships and trust in the ability of the government. Next, Perry in 1996 explains that public interest can motivate an individual to engage in public service to make better changes such as performance. This is supported by Perry and friends in 2010 in a further study. They found that public service interest did indeed motivate a person to participate in public service and was positively related to the performance of a public servant. Here can be some of the examples that related to the relationship between public service and public interest just now. As I mentioned just now, gain the trust of the community is to meet the public needs. For example, the appointment system available in government clinics sometimes do not follow the date and time that has been set in advance because they tend to give way to others or cases that are overdue before. This indirectly affects the community's trust in public service and the quality of service from them. Next, one-way communication such as ministry orders that do not consider the view of others. For example, directives issued by the governments are often fixed and do not consider the opinions of subordinates who carry out the task of providing services to the community. For example, the Ministry of Education gave instructions to close the school sessions at the beginning of pandemic and instructed all the students and teachers to conduct teaching online without thinking about the situation faced by the students and parents in particularly. As a result, many underprivileged parents are forced into debt to buy mobile devices and some students drop out of online teaching. Finally, the attractions to policy making encourage an individual to engage in public service and provide the best possible service. For example, an individual who joins a public service on a factor of interest to change an existing policy, such as in the department that they serve. I think that's all from me. I will pass the next slide to Nurul Aziati to continue discussing NPS. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Nadra, and hi everyone. My name is Aziati. Today I would like to present about the principle of a new public service, comparing approach between traditional public administration, new public management, and new public service, and also about the leadership perspective between new public management and new public service. So the new public service can be defined as a set of ideas about the role of a public administrations in the governance system that places citizens at the center. It means that the public management should focus on the citizens, the community, and also the society. Then we move to the principle of the new public service that proposed by Den Hart and Den Hart in 2000 because of the critics of the new public management. So those principle of the new public service is emerged. So the first principle of the new public service is serve rather than steer. It means the public servant should help citizens to meet their shared value rather than to attempt to control, to steer society in a new directions. Because we know that the public policies is a result of the governmental decisions making. So in the new public service, the public manager should respond to the citizens, just not saying yes or no, but saying let's work together to figure out what is going on and make it happen. Second principle of the new public service is seek public interest, meaning the public interest is the aim, not the byproduct. Because the goal is not to find a quick solution driven by individual, because in the new public service, it creations of shared interest and shared responsibility. Then the public servant will take the active role to make sure that the citizens share the collective of the public interest so that they will engage and they will come to understand each other's interests. The third one is think strategically, act democratically. It means the policy program meeting public needs can be most effectively through the collective efforts and also the collaboration process. For example, if we want to improve our civic educations, we must to get involved with the civic leaders, because with this engagement between the governmental and the leaders of the citizen, it make the program more effectively. But the important things that is the government should be open and accessible, that is responsive to the citizen, because if the government is not open and not accessible, this will not create the opportunities of the citizenships. Number four is serve citizen, not the customers. It means the new public service recognize that the relationship between the government and the citizens not same as the business and the customers. And the government not to just respond to the demand of the citizens, but also they have to build the relationship of trust through the collaboration with the citizens. And the new public service also encourage more people to fulfill their responsibility as citizens. And for the government, they also have to be sensitive to the voices of the citizens. Number five is accountability isn't simple because in the new public service, it demands a public administrator to make a decision alone through the dialogue, through the citizen empowerment and also the broad-based citizen engagements. But the public servants are remain to respond for assuring the solution to the public problems are consistent with the law, consistent with the democratic norm and also other constraints. Number six is a value people, not just productivity. It means the public organization likely to succeed in the long run through the collaborations and shared leadership by respecting people. In the new public service, shared leadership, collaborations, and empowerment become the norm, both inside and outside of the organizations. The last one is the value citizenships and a public service above entrepreneurship. It means that the public interest is better advanced through the meaningful contribution rather than acting as entrepreneur managers. And they have to share power, work through people, and broker solutions as a responsible participation and not the entrepreneur. And public administrator is not single-handed decide what the best of the community, but through the dialogue and the citizen engagement, ongoing opportunities and the potential risks can be explored. So this is basically the principle of the new public service. Then we move to the comparing approach between traditional public administration, new public management, and new public service. So as you can see in the first item is a theoretical framework applied in the new public service, meaning that the administrator should see citizens as a citizen with sharing authority that they ensure that the citizens can make choices consistent with their interests. The second one is the role of the government. In the new public service, government should serve through the negotiating and brokering interest among citizens and also creating a shared value. The third one is accountability of the civil servant. In the new public service, multi-faced means public servant must attend a law, community values, political norms, professional standards in order to considering about the citizen interest. Number four is the organizational structure. In the new public service, organization is the collaborative structure with the leadership share internally and externally between the government and the citizens. Number five is motivation, which is the spirit of the public service, meaning that the civil servant desire to contribute to society in the new public service. And the number six is a public interest. For example, in the new public service, result of the dialogue about shared value between the people, between the governments and the citizens. The last one is achieving a policy objective. In the new public service, the mechanism of achieve policy objective is building coalitions of the public and also to meet their mutual agreed upon the need. The last part of my presentations is leadership perspective between new public service and new public management. As we know in the previous slide, new public service applied shared leadership and it is way of a successful public organization because shared leadership focus on the goals that community wants to advance. Second one is the responsive policies and program achieved through a collective effort and a collaborative process. And because of this collaborative, and shared leadership must be characterized by mutual respect and support. And for the new public managements, leaders to exist to motivate followers achieve goals rather than their staff needs. And it is cause a lack of humanities and people-centered because NPM have a specific target goals rather than building relationships and serving the community. This is a related news I get from the internet about the community leadership through the vaccination program. This is Tan Sri Lee Lam Tai, our Alliance of Safe Community chairman. He said that the government should provide space for those within the community to decide on how they can best help empower, strengthen their community instead of providing a one-size-fits-all framework. And he also said that the government should engage with the community as equal partner instead of issuing top-down directive. So I think that's all about my presentation. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to all of you. My name is Aina Shuhada and I'll be talking about e-government as a citizen-centric public service, where I will focus on Malaysian issue with new public service that has been explained by my friends. So first off, what is citizen-centric? Citizen-centricity is an approach in which citizen participation through the explicit or implicit expression of their needs by different means. And these different means play an essential role in the design of a government strategies. And this has been quoted by IGI Global. So the thing that has been explained by IGI Global is also similar to the principle of NPS that has been explained by my friends, which is to serve the public, to seek public interest, to value people, which means to give citizens the satisfaction that they need. And with the bond that the government has with the people, it will help to improvise the government strategies in building a country. So citizen-centric governance, on the other hand, is about creating an environment where the administration of an organization puts citizen as the main stakeholder here. So what is e-governance and how it is related to citizen-centric? E-governance in Malaysia is designed as one of the means to provide efficient quality e-service to citizens. So the function focuses on improving public service delivery, and the concept is ought to provide end-to-end services to the citizens. So this establishment of the multimedia super corridor has existed since 1996. So MSC is the one who has encouraged adoption of e-governance into our country. So e-government is among the leading flagship projects by MSC, and this leading flagship projects has promoted two objectives, which are to reinvent the government in terms of its service delivery, to catalyze the successful development with ICT as a leading sector of the economy. So these two objectives focuses on reinventing the government's administration to be more responsive to the needs of citizens. So here I would like to focus what are the applications that are told by MSC in e-governance, which is very important. So these are the 7 applications that are being explained by MSC. First is electronic government, telemedicine, smart schools, multi-purpose card, R&D clusters, worldwide manufacturing webs, and borderless marketing. So first off, the electronic government. So electronic government was launched with the aspiration to employ multimedia technologies to reinvent the way how government operates through electronical device. So electronic government here, it seeks to improve the quality, convenience, accessibility, and the quality of interactions with citizens and business. And this focuses on internal and external services to the people of Malaysia. So electronic government's vision is to see the people in business, citizenry, and government working together for the benefit of all Malaysians. Second, multi-purpose card. Multi-purpose card provides the government and businesses to save their time and effort and to eliminate duplication of any investment. So this multi-purpose card is what we have been using in our daily life, alright? So the bank, credit card, debit card. So the MPC is a card with an embedded microchip, which will have the capability to perform a wide range of functions from identification to ATM withdrawals to any filing management, okay? So what are the vision of multi-purpose card? The vision for the multi-purpose card is to ease Malaysians performing routine transactions with the government and private companies. So this implementation of multi-purpose card will bring benefits as an all-rounder to citizens, government, as well as private companies. Why private companies? Because private companies use MPC as an online investment for their company's purposes. Smart schools. So smart schools are what we are going through these days, students and teachers. So in the world of information age in this 20th century, there is a growing need for technologically literate to perform in a global environment and the use of information technology to improve productivity. Smart school is the answer to this need of online tools being promoted in school all around the world, okay, especially in Malaysia. Smart schools will not only introduce information technology, but will use it to better deliver education in a more efficient way. So there are certain goals being identified here in Smart School, which is to encourage all-round development of the individual, to provide opportunities for development of special strengths and abilities when they use information technology in schools, okay? And there are pilot applications that are proposed by MSc that identified for smart school through online data. First of all, what are pilot applications? So pilot application is a small scale experiment that would help the government to see initially on how e-governments in the nearest future would look from a bigger point of view. So these three pilot applications for smart schools are about teaching learning material, assessment system, and a management system. So these three pilot applications will be looked from the information technology part. Telemedicine. So the telemedicine here aims to keep people in the wellness guideline through advancing technology, where people health information will be available at all time, and there will be virtual health services that will be delivered efficiently to the people. So the healthcare vision is to see Malaysia as a nation of healthy individuals, and this is also to provide high quality healthcare to all Malaysians. So here there are 4 pilot applications identified, which is personalized health information and education, medical education, teleconsultation. What is teleconsultation? It's a consultation with your specialist being done online via social platform, and lifetime health plan. We all know that this lifetime health plan is about healthcare services with certain benefits to offer to the people to get their health being covered via insurance. R&D clusters. These are very important, yeah. Research and development clusters. So information and multimedia technology has advanced at a massive rate these days, and it has affected the way people live and work. So in order to implement technology available at the fullest extent, MSc have invested into research and development. So MSc aims to incorporate the existing research and development centers to create a very unique environment and promote the next generation multimedia technologies. So the vision here is to establish the first research and development cluster in Asia that are internationally focused. So there will be 3 core elements of R&D cluster flagship that will help achieve this vision. So what are these core elements? To encourage the corporate of research and development, to create new multimedia university, to develop a large scale of research development pilot project. Research and development is very, very important to improvise the technology that has been existed in our country from a long time ago. And the next one, worldwide manufacturing web. Here, the flagship here focuses more on the manufacturing part. So by researching deeper the use of multimedia and information technology, the Worldwide Manufacturing Web, also known as the Global Manufacturing Web, aims to provide an environment that is very much conducive for high-value manufacturing activities. So the vision of WMW is to provide an optimal environment for manufacturing and service companies using multimedia technology. So therefore, this WMW is to encourage the development in providing link between companies and operation centers. And these are the link, which is research development, design, focusing on engineering support, manufacturing control, procurement, logistic, and distribution support. So here I would like to focus. This convergence of WMW is about the emergence of digital solutions and advanced technologies which are often associated with Industry 4.0. So this WMW is about, industrial Internet of Things, big data, cloud computing, additive manufacturing, advanced robotics. All of this is focusing again on the manufacturing part, but also the end service will be to the people. Last one is borderless marketing. So in this fast-paced 21st era world, there is a need to overcome traditional and natural boundary, which means the old school ways, okay? So the borderless marketing MSc flagship application is developed for businesses to serve their customers better across time zones and distance. So through the use of information technology, the traditional boundaries of time, space, and form will be eliminated. Hence, the existence of advanced technology would be the medium for customers. So here I would like to focus, NPS is about serving people, not customers. But here I would like to focus, customers mean us. Because we citizens have been using this borderless marketing throughout our daily life, online shopping, everything. So this is a benefit for all of us, okay? In the context of citizen, would have more options in daily life, like I said, to get the things that they need. So the vision for borderless marketing here, focus on 4 areas, which are telemarketing, online information service, electronic commerce, digital broadcasting. So all of these are how I could relate about Malaysian issue to new public service. So that's all from us. We will later proceed for Q&A. Thank you.